Okay, join me on page 392 in your science textbook. How do natural disasters affect habitats? If you've ever been caught in a natural disaster or viewed one on television, you know that natural disasters can cause sudden and violent changes to Earth's surface. An earthquake may open large cracks in the ground. A landslide may bury the land in its path under rocks and mud. A river overflowing its banks can flood a large area with water and sediment. An erupting volcano can cover an area with hot lava and ashes. What happens to the plants, animals, and people living where these disasters occur? Impact on people and wildlife. Natural disasters often cause rapid changes that have long-term effects on habitats. When a habitat is damaged, the plants, animals, and people in the area may be harmed and may lose their homes. For example, Lassen Peak, an active volcano in California, experienced a series of eruptions in May 1915. Lava flowed down the western side of the mountain and hardened. Heat from the lava melted most of the snow on the mountain and started a lahar, a mud flow containing volcanic ash and rock. The lahar flowed into Hat Creek and flooded the surrounding valley. Ranchers in the valley had to leave their homes and head for higher ground. One of the Lassen Peak eruptions released a giant cloud of ash and steam. Before 1914, pine trees covered the northwestern side of the mountain. The eruption brought flows of hot gases, ash, and rock that shattered and burned the trees and other vegetation in their paths. This area became known as the devastated area. Today, new trees hide the damage caused by the volcano's eruption. Other natural disasters also affect nearby habitats. Landslides can carry away plants and animals and bury an area under tons of rock and soil. Floods can cover a region with water and mud, killing plants and animals. Floodwaters may also wash away soil. Many of these natural disasters can cause other violent events. The eruption of Lassen Peak caused flooding and lahars. An earthquake can start fires, trigger landslides, or cause tsunamis. How do tsunamis affect habitats? One of the most damaging but fortunately infrequent natural disasters is a tsunami. A tsunami is a series of huge waves caused by an earthquake or volcanic eruption beneath or near the ocean. Most tsunamis are started by earthquakes. The water moves away from the epicenter of the earthquake in all directions. The speed of the tsunami depends on the depth of the water. In the open ocean, tsunamis have long wavelengths and low amplitudes. They travel at speeds of 500 to 1,000 kilometers per hour. As a tsunami approaches the shore, it slows down. The length of each wave decreases, but the height increases dramatically. The water piles up, and it is often sucked away from the coastline. Finally, the tsunami crashes onto the shore as a giant wall of water. It can flood up to 2 kilometers, more than a mile inland, sweeping people, houses, boats, and even trees into its wake. Fortunately, most earthquakes do not cause tsunamis. Continuing on page 395. The number and frequency of waves in a tsunami can vary. There may be just a few waves or dozens, and they may be from 5 minutes to an hour apart. Usually, each wave is smaller than the previous one until the water levels itself out again. However, the first wave is not always the biggest. On December 26, 2004, an earthquake measuring between 9.0 and 9.3 on the Richter scale occurred in the Indian Ocean. The epicenter was about 100 miles west of Sumatra in Indonesia. The earthquake triggered a tsunami that sent a series of waves crashing onto the coastlines of Southeast Asia, destroying whole villages and killing hundreds of thousands of people. After the first big wave hit Thailand, people ran out onto the beach to help those who had been injured. Meanwhile, a second wave crashed ashore, injuring even more people. And I actually went to Thailand about 4 months after this tsunami back in 2004, or it would have been 2005, because it happened at the end of 2004, and was able to see some of the damage and devastation done by the tsunami. I saw cars wrapped around trees because the energy of the wave carried the car and rammed it up against the tree so hard it bent the car around the tree. I saw hotels that were completely gutted from the waves coming through. It was pretty intense to be able to see that just a few months after it had happened. Okay, continuing on page 395. Tsunamis often take hours to travel across the ocean, so it may be possible to warn people before the waves reach the shore. A warning system can help protect people from the effects of tsunamis. Scientists are working to set up a tsunami warning system in the Indian Ocean. All right, thanks again for watching, and continue on your science lesson.